I hope everything's okay.
That's not streaming.
It's not. Yeah, it is. It's streaming. It's garbage. Well, we're moving on from audio problems to visual problems. Going through the full cycle. So give us just a second.
No worries.
There's our camera. So why can't we?
When I go to the quick share, now it's showing. It's split screen to the council again, or to the podium again.
There we go.
Closer.
There we go.
Now
We are gonna work. Okay.
we're good.
Good to go? All right, we apologize for the delays there. We had some technical difficulties, but it looks like we're ready to rock and roll here. We will go ahead and call this Tooele City Planning Commission meeting to order this Wednesday, September 25th, 2024 at the hour of 7:09 p.m. here in City Council Chambers. If you guys would all please rise and repeat the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for that. Number 2 on our agenda tonight is a roll call. Commissioner Proctor?
Here.
Commissioner Sloan?
Here.
Commissioner Jensen?
Here.
Commissioner Anderson? Here. I am Chairman Hamilton. I am also here. Let's please excuse Commissioners Dunn, Robinson, Hammer, and Gossett. Please recognize Councilman McCall and staff members Mr. Hall, Mr. Agard, and Mr. Baker here tonight. Number 3 on our agenda tonight is a public hearing, review, and a decision. This is application number 2024-048, a request by Smith's Food and Drug Centers, Inc. for conditional use approval to allow an accessory drive-through facility on property located at approximately 2400 North and Main Street in the GC General Commercial Zoning District. Mr. Hall.
Thank you. This is a request related to a larger project. I think that's the first thing to note. There's a large parcel. This is 10.2 acres where Smith's is going to be going. It is a commercial project that will involve a lot more than Smith's, but Smith's is the first one in, and they're going to need a conditional use for a drive-through as a part of their pharmacy. It goes on the site right here. You can see that property. This is the Home Depot, just to make sure you're looking at the right spot, and the school is nearby. The new high school. It is all located in the GC, General Commercial Zone. The only aspect of it that requires that conditional use permit review is the drive-through that's located. This is the larger site. The drive-through is on the pharmacy right here. And other than that, it's a site plan review. There might be other conditional uses that come your way for different uses that come into this development in the future as they go, but for now, it's just the Smiths and the conditional use for that drive-through pharmacy. Zooming in a little bit, you can see that pharmacy better. And you'll note from in the report, we talked about access to the pharmacy. This is a main access to the project, to the commercial center, shopping center. You would come in and they would make this loop around to the pharmacy window here. These are those stop and pick up grocery areas for people, pick up deliveries outside, and then the rest of the front of the building there, and the access to the parking. So this is a main thoroughfare. One of the things we worried about or talked about during that review with planning and zoning was this crosswalk in front of that area that's going to have cars coming in and out. I wanted to delineate that. We've spoken with AWA, and they're amenable to that condition that we've asked for, denoting that crosswalk in some other way to make it more notable so that cars slow down when they're crossing it and people know that they're supposed to be there. A couple of other things to talk about. There's some landscaping that goes in that area too. That'll soften that visual of the cars stacked up there as you wait, as you come into the project. It's a good landscaping plan. We're currently working through the site plan review. Right now, the DRC folks, engineering, fire, planning and zoning, and everyone. But this aspect needs to be looked at and approved by the Planning Commission, so we wanted to get that rolling first off. We are recommending approval. with just those simple conditions, that they satisfy the site planning requirements that we're going through currently, that they get the Public Works Department taken care of, that during construction, things are taken care of and not causing a problem, that they're meeting all the requirements that we have for development. And then again, just that traffic impact study, that'll help to make sure pedestrians are safe on the site. And again, that we raise or texture that crosswalk in some way to delineate it for the drive-through. Have any questions for staff about this particular conditional use?
Let's bring it back to the commission for questions for staff. Sounds like there are none. And is the applicant here tonight? We'll give you a few minutes after the public hearing to address in case there are any questions that come up then. All right, with no questions for staff, we're going to open the public hearing for this particular item. If you want to speak to this item, please approach the podium, state your name for the record, and write your name for the record. Okay, seeing no one approach, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and invite the applicant up. If you'd like to address the commission, you can.
So good evening. My name is Rick Magnus with AWA Engineering, and we are consulting engineers with Smiths and Kroger. We've been that for about 35 years in the Intermountain West. This is a great project. I want to also publicly just acknowledge how great staff you guys have here in Tooele. They are really good, and we appreciate them a lot. They've worked, extensively with us to get this project going. We agree with staff recommendations, and I'm really just here to answer any questions you may have.
Perfect. We'll bring this back to the commission for questions for the applicant.
Pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward, sounds like. I appreciate you
All right.
coming.
Thank
you, Mr. Magnus.
You bet. Thank you.
All right. We'll bring it back to commission for further action.
I'll make a motion, and Chairman,
Commissioner Proctor?
I move we approve the request for conditional use permit application 2024-048 by Smooth's Fit and Drug Centers to allow accessory drive-through facility on the subject property located at 2400 North Main Street in the GC Commercial Zoning District, based on the findings of fact and subject to the conditions listed in the staff report dated September 20, 2024.
I've got a motion to approve from Commissioner Proctor. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And a second from Commissioner Jensen. Commissioner Proctor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Sloan?
Aye.
Commissioner Jensen?
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson?
Aye.
I am Chairman Hamilton. I also vote aye. That one passes 5-0. We agree with our staff. They're excellent. They make our jobs easy, so hopefully they're helping you out with all that too.
They are. Thank you very much. And obviously, if you have any audio-visual issues, they got that covered as
They
well.
can cover that. Yep. Thank you, Mr. Magnus. All right, number 4 on our agenda is a review and decision. This is application 2024-044, a request by Upwell Homes for site plan and design review approval for the lot 107 townhomes of Lexington Greens, a multifamily residential project on property located at 620 West Carroll's Way in the MR16 multifamily residential zoning district. Mr. Hall.
Thank you. So as you said, this project is called Lot 107 Townhomes of Lexington Greens. It's difficult to name things and give them identifiable names in this area because there's so much Lexington and so much green. So but as descriptive as that name is, it does exist on what was Lot 107 of the Lexington Greens PUD. So the PUD overlay in this area delineates 18 units for this property. Those have been laid out in the subdivision. I think I included that in your packets. The subdivision already exists. Those little townhome lots are already there, subdividing Lot 107 further into those. Updwell is looking at the property, so we're going through site plan and design review because some of our standards have changed slightly in the intervening time since this was subdivided, but they'll be using the same lots that were laid out before, just changing the faces of the units a little bit to make sure that we meet the requirements currently, the current requirements. It is in that MR16 zone. That's that underlies the Lexington Greens PUD. This is the top one that you're looking at there. That's the site plan. Again, it's laid out already in that preliminary subdivision, or that final subdivision is recorded, showing those lots. The driveways are wide enough and the garages are wide enough to account for 2 cars. In our standards, that gives you 3 parking spaces. The units are required to have 2.25 each one, so they're meeting that standard and exceeding it a little bit. So there's no guest parking on the site other than what's in the driveways. Nothing like that planned. The west end here is a detention facility, a detention basin for stormwater. The lower plan there is the landscaping plan. One of the conditions of approval is we need to make a few slight changes to the landscaping plan. We have a 60-40 mix required for deciduous trees versus coniferous trees. We're just not quite at the 40% for coniferous, so they get a good looking project during the winter. Otherwise, we're meeting the requirements of the landscaping plan. That was the one thing. The units themselves, there's a 4-unit building. So I'm going to go back to this site plan for a second. You can see there are buildings that are 4 units and there are buildings that are 5 units. So we're going to be looking at, I didn't put all of the elevations in because they are the same other than the number of units. Just wanted to show you one quick thing. The 4-unit elevation in the front you're looking at there, the 4-unit building is just slightly under for the brick that's required. It's just a little less than required, 37% versus the 40, so we need to increase that on the 4-unit building. The 5-unit building is meeting the standard, so we'll have to adjust that. That's one of the other conditions that we've asked for. That's the rear elevation. All of our other standards for design review are being met. The vertical alignment, horizontal alignment, everything's working well. This is the side views. You can see the corner side building of the 5-unit building does have the brickwork that's required. And then this is the 5-unit building here. I decided to use the rendered version of it instead of the straight-on view, just so you could see that as well. So you got the mix of materials that's required, the roof line changes that are required. We're hitting all the right beats. We just have those couple of requirements. A couple of things about the specifics of the drainage basin, that detention basin, for engineering to be met, need to be changed, but otherwise the plan is in good order, and we are recommending approval with those conditions that we need to make sure that those things are buttoned up. Otherwise, we're ready to go. Have any questions for staff?
Let's bring this back to the commission for questions for staff. I see none there. I like that you guys put those things you're working on in the conditions to meet. Helps us out quite a bit. All right, any discussion from the commission? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve application number 2024-44, request for site plan and design review approval by Updwell Homes for the Lot 107 Townhomes of Lexington located at 620 West Carroll's Way in the MR16 zoning district based on the findings subject to the conditions listed in the staff report dated September 20th, 2024.
I got a motion to approve from Commissioner Sloan. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And a second from Commissioner Anderson. Commissioner Proctor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Sloan?
Aye.
Commissioner Jensen?
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson?
Aye.
I am Chairman Hamilton. I also vote aye. That one passes 5-0. Moves us on to number 5 on our agenda tonight is a city council reports. Mr. McCall.
Morning, gentlemen. I'm sorry.
Morning.
Evening, gentlemen.
We'll take it.
I tell you, I don't know. Hey, I only have 2 things to report on that we did last meeting, last Wednesday. We approved an agreement, actually an adjustment to an agreement with Broken Arrow to work on the parking area at Denny's in order to facilitate the development in that area between Denny's and 7-Eleven, or not Walker's, whatever it is. But to give them back the few parking spots that was taken away so they can move on. And the other thing we did, we tabled the development on 1000 North, the 9 acres where they wanted to do the homes up top and businesses at the bottom. We just needed a little more information on that, so we tabled that into the next go-round. More than likely to pass, but we just needed some more information. And just so to give you a little bit of insight why we needed more information was because it was raised that if a person, because they were saying that you would own them, and one of the conditions would be that you had a business. Well, if your business fold, do you lose your house? You know what I'm saying? So we got to work that out to make sure that we don't make someone have to move just because their business folded. But other than that, everything's good to go.
Yeah, that's definitely a good question. We wouldn't know what to ask that, but I'm glad you're getting that information back.
Just wondering, like,
Thank you, sir. All right, moves us on to number 6 on our agenda tonight is a review and a decision of the minutes of the Planning Commission meeting held on September 11th, 2024. Are there any corrections or additions to those minutes?
I seen one. We don't have a Commissioner Andrew, do we?
No.
That should say Anderson.
Anderson? All right,
Undercover Commissioner.
the undercover, yeah. He's hiding in the back room. All right, we'll get that one correction from Commissioner Andrew to Commissioner Anderson. Any other corrections or additions? All right, with that correction being made, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move that we approve the minutes with that correction.
A motion to approve from Commissioner Jensen. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And a second from Commissioner Proctor. Commissioner Proctor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Sloan?
Are we okay if I abstain, since we're at a 5 here? I wasn't here, but if we need them to pass,
You've got enough votes without it.
okay, I'll abstain.
Okay. Commissioner Jensen?
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson?
Aye.
I'm Chairman Hamilton. I also vote aye. That passes 4-1, with the one being an abstainment. Moves us on to number 7 on our agenda is that I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned. Thank you, Commissioner Anderson.